The divine has a way to show you the things you need to tighten up, so therefore you can place yourself in different energies around the world. But sometimes, depending on the energy that you carry, certain things will be removed from you. Sometimes you're good, and the things you have around you is not good for you. Sometimes you're misleading, and the misleading energy you carry is not good for everybody else in the world. Meaning, if things ain't really working correctly, you need to clean that up first. My problem has always been believing too much in the wrong set of people. Whether that's my family, whether that's my friends, whether that's loved ones. I believe wholeheartedly. And that's not a bad thing in my case. It's just bad when I can't see, or I'm too much in my head to realize that certain things don't mean me no good. That's always been my issue. Hold on a second. And it seems that the addiction of life has a second guessing the divine a lot of times. Like, it's not the divine's fault that you didn't listen when you went before your time. It's not the divine's fault that you enjoyed certain things that wasn't meant for you in your particular time. You can't lie. You have to be honest in some retrospect, and that honesty has to set a motion to your capabilities. What does that mean? That means even if you knew you made a mistake, you're supposed to sit still and endure in the fact of what you did that wasn't for you. Meaning saying, all right, I got to pull back because that wasn't particularly for me. And when your energy is so young and unfamiliar to circumstances, that's the reason you go forward into something that's not for you. And when that takes place and is not solidified as the happily ever after, or what your perception sees that to be, you know what we do? We blame outside forces. Oh, that was their fault. Oh, people ain't this. Oh, men ain't this. Or women ain't that. I kind of go in myself. I go back within and I let go, and I say, well, I see what's taking place, but it's only taking place because I'll allow it to. So let me go back to the divine, because the things that are out here are not for me right now. And if they really cared for me, loved me, or whatever they use the terms as, they would try to protect that. You know, you hear all the rhetoric, you know. You know, most people despise their choices so much, right? That they'll punish the creation from their choices. They won't stand on it and make sure that the life that it needs to grow or whatever has the best nutrients it needs to get to its point of view. They won't do that. What they'll do is they'll point their finger at their choices. They'll say, oh, it's a problem with that, or they're not like me, or they're like their father, or they're like their mother. And then the contrast aspect to these things that take place is you'll try to give something some love and it'll run away. There's always an angle, a twist, a turn of reality that does not suit the divine's way of looking at truth. we have a problem with accepting that. You know why? Because it particularly has everything to do with us not taking responsibility for our own actions. I've been in that boat before, and then I started choosing the right energy. I was always the one in the situations where people would be like, he won't do this or he won't do that. And then I would do it. It may take a while though, because it'll be hard for me to see certain things or understand what I should be doing at that current moment, or be oblivious to the fact that, nigga, you just getting played. And I thank the divine for giving me the strength sometimes to get through these circumstances that I just wasn't able to see. Because if the divine didn't give me the strength, I'll be just another idiot in certain situations, right? Man, I've cried so many tears. And my boo-hoos would be like, I thought they loved me. You know? And then people would, because their situation is a little bit better or a little different, they would mock you. They would say, oh, who cares that you're going through this, or it's your fault. Then I don't need you to tell me that. Divine doesn't need you to pass judgment. And then when they're going through it, they hide their faces, or they hide their sorrow. Being vulnerable is really important. I've learned a lot from my own personal situations in life, and trying to consolidate who I am to give myself the love that I deserve and need, the health that I deserve and need, the attention that I deserve and need. Has always been fleeting. It's always been fleeting. People would rather me do for them just so they can sit back and say, you stupid. I would have did for me first. Try to destroy the heart that the Most High has given me. That is not a requisite for truth for me. It's not something I should have been doing, and I realized that if the love is real, no matter where it's coming from, family, friends, or relationship, it's protecting. It's going to make sure that you see everything you need to see. But then, in this world, we tell somebody, oh, you can't have this, or I'm not doing that. Well, shit, okay, that's cool. I'm not even going to beg for it. The divine got my back. And when you start showing me the limits or levels of what it means to be in love, or to show me what love is in the way you see it, or you have your limitations on what that means as far as how the divine put love in motion, you're telling me that that's not what you want from me. Life is always going to be simple. We complicate it just so we can manipulate it. Remember that. If you can remember, people complicate life so they can manipulate it. You don't need to know the outcome of what's going on. You don't need to know what took place. Just know that they're complicating it. But majority of the time, when you look deeper into a circumstance, you can hear the nuances. You can hear the slights. You can see the breaths and the lies and the intentions, and you can hear the ego. Oh, I'm bad. I can do whatever I want. You won't do that shit with me. Do that shit by yourself. Go teach that bullshit to somebody else. And I hope it keeps working for you, because the energy you give out will be the energy you receive. But it just won't come from me, because I don't want no parts of that. I want something to love me and all my flaws, and I will love something and all their flaws. I kind of fall to that shit real fast, I've had somebody love me that way once. And it was one of the greatest feelings I ever had. Somebody tell me they didn't care, they just loved me. They didn't care about anything but me. And they were willing to do anything that it took to protect and fight for that love. And then to watch that actually take place was one of the most beautifulest things I've ever seen in my life. It's too bad I wasn't in the right mindset to maintain it. You live and you learn. It was a long time ago, but you live and you learn. I don't know. This time, sometime in the future, I'll find myself somewhere I've never been, starting my life all over again. And that to be true because I need new. I need love. I need to love myself. And with the divine guidance, I will get there. I'll just have to be patient a little while longer. Well, for the most part, I've learned a lot of situations that I just didn't understand from before. And I challenge anybody who's going through things in the world to take time to listen to their actions, to listen to their emotions, and to define who you are as a person. I ain't gonna hold you. I just wanted to build. I'll be back. NAGA.